Welcome, and thank you for joining the Live in Divine Harmony podcast. I'm Carmen, your divine synergist of Heart's Joy. I'm an awakened person of purpose. I have a passion for life. I'm a speaker, author, podcast host, and a numerologist. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for notifications so you never miss another episode. Let's dive in. So, welcome to the November numerology and energy update. Be sure to have a pen, paper handy. I'm going to give you some dates for pivotal astrological alignments throughout November, and we're going to interweave the energy of the numerology as well. So when you look at the numerology aspect of November, we're playing with a 9 energy, and we're also playing with a 2 energy as well. Always remember that we're in a collective energy year of a 7, because that energy is also playing into this every single month. Now, keep in mind, this is the collective energy, and you have your own personal energies as well. If that's something you'd like to understand and learn about, be sure you can always reach out and we can do a private numerology session. So when you look at the numerology energy for the month of November, it is going to be a wake-up call month. That is the best way that I can explain these energies. If you thought that going through this powerful eclipse season was wonky, crazy, frustrating, challenging, y'all love to use that word, it truly was the pivotal time of change in October. And by the way, October was really focused on relationships, and we're going to be focused on relationships, and we're going to shift that a bit in this November 2 energy month. So if you thought October, you were on the struggle bus, it truly could feel like a slap in the face for November. It really all just depends on where you are, how much you're really understanding what is really happening. Are you so sucked into mainstream media that that's kind of your Bible, if you will? Or are you able to step back and say, you know what? Clearly there's something else going on here on a larger scale, and something's just not right. Maybe you aren't sure what it is. Maybe you're like me and you're like, yeah, I'm clear as to what's really going on. Or if you're truly in the dark and you got the juice and you're following every single marketing, because it's truly marketing, I don't want to say promotion, but anything that the government's telling you that you have to have, society's telling you that you have to have, if you're still sucked into that vortex, if you will, then it truly will feel like a wake-up call, slap in the face type of month. Everyone's going to experience surprises throughout the month. It really truly is going to depend on where you are along I call it your healing journey. Because as you continue to heal all the different layers of self, you start to show up differently. And so I want you to keep that in mind and keep that in mind as you go throughout the month. Now, let me give you some dates so that you have these, and then we're going to talk about it. On November 4th, Saturn stations direct. And that is part of the wake-up call. There is no more procrastination. I shared with somebody the other day that it is go time. Like we should, let me take that back. We have a beautiful opportunity right now in this very moment, right after the eclipse season, to take action on whatever it is that you have been called to take action on, because that's always going to look different for everybody. So it is your, what I call go time. You are getting all the green lights. That is one way that you are co-creating with the universe, with God, with Jesus, with your spirit team. And so you have that powerful energy coming out of the eclipse, after the eclipse, for 2 weeks, which I talked about in the last podcast. And now, at the beginning of November, because we're already feeling these November energies, at the beginning of November, it's like, all right, let's go. It is time. It is time for you to no longer sit around, no longer wait for someone else, something else. It is your time to go do the damn thing. Okay. And that energy, I mean, now that Saturn stations direct, that energy is there for you to harness and work with. Now, November 13th is a new moon in Scorpio. And this is here to give us a reminder of how magical we are. Sometimes you hear me say your magical amazingness, how magical you are. Who are you really? How powerful you are. And it is going to be an intense new moon. And a lot of that's because it's teaching us that our emotions are powerful. And a lot of people don't want to feel emotions. It's scary for them. If you're like me, you were taught not to feel emotion growing up. You were taught feeling your feelings is bad and to suck it up and move forward. And that's not helping anyone. So during this time of this new moon, it's really bringing up to the surface any emotions, and then what is it that you want to manifest and create, and use that emotional piece to do that. And it could be that emotions start to come up for you during this new moon in Scorpio that had been buried for a while, and they've slowly been coming to the surface, because I think it's what, like, I don't know, 85-90% of the time we're operating subconsciously. So when you can bring things from the subconscious conscious, then not only are you acknowledging them, you finally get to heal them, shift them, and feel them. Okay. So of course it's going to be uncomfortable. Wake up calls are normally uncomfortable, and it's sitting in that uncomfortableness that it allows it to grow. It allows us to grow. At the end of the month, we'll have the full moon in Gemini on November 27th. And again, this is another opportunity to keep your mind and energy open and available to new frequencies in order for you to receive whatever it is that you need to receive, a change. So shake off anything, clear out anything that isn't of your highest good. And it's really not on your highest path, or for you to get to your highest path. And you're simply allowing that to fall away, to clear the way for a higher vibrational frequency to enter into your field, into your energy field, into your world. I call my some people call it an aura. I call my energy field like welcome to Carmen's world. I actually have a visualization of what I would like my energy field to look like. And it's almost like pink, fluffy cotton candy with blue cotton candy on the outside surrounding it, pink for the unconditional love and blue for protection. That is how I visualize some people call it your auric field. That's what I call that for me. Whatever's going to resonate for you. All right. So with November being a 9 energy, this is that old cycles are ending. We're getting that actually with both moons, which I think is so beautiful. And that's why we're getting this wake up call for so many other reasons. And that's one of the many reasons why we're getting the wake up call. I also can see repressed feelings are going to be coming to the surface. Again, things come to the surface so you can acknowledge them in order to heal them. And always remember that your healing is a process. It's layers like an onion. And I say that because if you tend to focus on the perfectionism and being perfect and, oh, I guess I didn't heal everything, that's not helping you at all. That's why I don't talk about balance, because it's a perfectionism idea. Versus if you can find the ebb and flow, the harmony of it, and focus on being an excellence, that will shift your energy. This is a month where you are invited to truly partnership with God, to truly partner with Jesus, with the universe, every single day. You are never alone, even though there are days where you may feel incredibly alone. You are never alone. And so remember this when maybe you're frustrated or feeling down. Maybe you have a touch of depression here and there, and reach out to somebody and know that you are never alone. It's really up to us, our choice of what it is that we want to co-create. And as I was speaking with someone the other day, they were so focused on what they didn't want. And so I asked them, well, what is it that you do want? Because that's how we've been programmed, is to focus on what we don't want, not what we do want. And so when we focus on what we don't want, that's what we end up receiving, because that's what we've told the universe that we're deserving of. And again, that could be a wake-up call for some of you. That could feel uncomfortable for some of you, especially if this is your first time hearing this, your first time practicing it. Everything is a practice. So start to sink into these energies. Start to notice again, how are you feeling? Where are you feeling it in your body as things are coming to the surface for you? Remember who you are. Remember whose you are. The most important relationship that you have is with yourself, your authentic self. And this is what we focus on in the Live on Purpose course. Years ago, I was angry with God. I felt like I had no gifts. I didn't understand why I was here. I was getting up every day, doing the same thing, going through the motions, and I simply felt unfulfilled. And I definitely felt like I had to look a certain way in order to be successful. I had to act a certain way in order to receive love. And none of that is authentic. And as I started to heal and ask the questions, why am I here? Who am I? Who am I really? Then that healing process begins. And I started to understand who I am at my core, the core of Carmen, and what my identity is. And that is what truly led me to my relationship with God, that relationship with Jesus. And that's what got me started into doing this work. I believe that we were given gifts for a reason, and that a lot of times we confuse our purpose with our job, which is simply our vehicle for us to live intentionally every day, use our gifts every day. And at the end of the day, we're here to be boots on the ground for God. We are here to be boots on the ground for God. We are here for a larger purpose. And it all starts back with that relationship with yourself. And I say that because when I look at the energies of the month, this is going to come up for you. And this could be a part of your wake up call. This could be a part of a surprise that you receive. Because now you're finally starting to remember who you are. I always hesitate to say find your purpose because it's all a remembering. It's almost like we got amnesia when our souls hopped into this bodysuit to come to Earth to do it again. Did we learn it the first time? No, that's why we came back. By the way, you don't have to continue to come back. And we're here. We made the choice to be here. And so every person we encounter, they're a mirror for us. And it could be that you're being tested, that you're kind of like, why is this coming back up again? Is it, I thought I got out of this cycle. Well, it could be that you're being tested again. Is it time? Did you really learn your lesson? Are you going to go back into a cycle? How badly do you really want the thing that you say you want? How passionate are you really about that hobby, about your job, about your business? How passionate are you about your partner? So that is what's coming up for you in November. Remember too that these are the collective energies. And the good news is that you're here now listening to this podcast. So you have some awareness and are open to receiving these messages. And so keep in mind that not everyone is aware, not everyone is open for these messages. And so if they start to get upset or project onto you, there's all sorts of ways that you can hold space for them in unconditional love and understand that where they're coming, I don't want to say where they're coming from. You understand that, hey, it's a projection. Hey, they're upset. Hey, these energies are probably triggering them and they have absolutely no idea. So I'm going to sit here and hold space for them and not allow myself to get triggered. So, reminders. After Saturn, stations direct, we'll still have Neptune in retrograde until December 6th. We'll have Chiron in retrograde until December 27th. We'll have Jupiter in retrograde until December 31st and Uranus in retrograde until January 27th of 2024. So I want you to keep all of that in mind as well. If you have not checked out Schumann Resonance, and I missed it because I was actually out of town last weekend, and I saw where somebody shared, and I knew that we were going to have, I called them immaculate energies over the weekend. And we did. And the Schumann totally showed up and showed out. So if that's not something that you're looking at every day, every other day, I highly, highly encourage you to do that so that you can start to, again, see. It's a great visual for these energies. And that may help you too. If you're a visual person like me, that may help you. There is an app that you can download on your phone, Schumann Resonance. And the thing is, it's a snapshot in time. So it's not like a tape where I can rewind it and see what happened last weekend. Rapid shifts are going to continue to occur. You may feel scattered. This is why I continue to say, if you don't have a spiritual practice yet, a grounding practice, get one, stay consistent with it. I will say that I have a friend who owns a salt room, and I have found myself in that salt room about every other week at this point. There's something about that salt room, salt for your soul, that it's grounding. It allows me to release, and I get the most beautiful messages when I get in there. And I do know that the sound of salt is a safe sound. It helps, it's a security for those of you who are interested. And if you have ever wanted to know, Carmen, I get this question a lot. How did you know when the next new moon is? Can you tell me when the next full moon is, when the next Mercury retrograde is? By the way, pre-shadow to Mercury retrograde will be towards the end of November. So we will end the year in Mercury retrograde. And I have designed retrograde calendars. I've designed calendars that show all of the astrological dates. So new moon dates, full moon dates, eclipse, retrogrades for 2024. These are going to be available for a limited time only. They are desk calendars that you can keep desk or wherever you'd like to keep them displayed so that you never miss another moon cycle, another planetary cycle. And they're only $27 for two calendars that have all the dates on there. And these are limited time. So from now through November 26th, they make great gifts as well. I highly encourage you to get your own set, get a set for a friend as well. And I will make sure that you have that information to do so. Thank you for tuning in to the Live in Divine Harmony podcast. I would love to hear from you. So share with us in the Creating a Life You Love community. What's one aha that you received from today's podcast, and or do you have questions about anything that was shared today? You can go to hearts-joy.mn for minynetworks.co to join us in that community. I look forward to sharing space with you soon, and I'll see you in the next podcast. Sending you much love.